Akwai na tampe ag bijiki ni boat na dasuis bijiki and dodam. Asinakog na wachi medewan matawak ni no. Hello, friends and family. I'm Standing Buffalo. I'm of the Buffalo clan, and I'm a Medewan Matawak man from Shinnecock. My given name is Shane Weeks, but Bijikid Niboit is who I am. And I thank Duck Creek for having us. And would like to introduce myself and my cousin here, John, and the Boys and Girls Club of Shinnecock. We're here to give you a little presentation and share a little bit of our history and culture as Shinnecock people. For those who don't know, we are the indigenous people of Southampton, and we've been there for about 13,000 years, give or take 5 or 10 years probably. And that's just because that's when the glacier receded from Long Island, creating Long Island during that last ice age. We are now currently in the territory of the Montaukett, who there are many descendants. Many of us are descendants of Montaukett people, and they are not recognized by any government but ours, our traditional government. But they are not state or federally recognized. They are in the process of looking to become state recognized, and it's been a very long battle for them. So we also want to acknowledge them, that we are in their land, and this is where Duck Creek resides. Today we're going to do a series of dances, and they all have a very special meaning. Many of them are contemporary, many of them are traditional, and as we go along we'll explain a little more about each dance and about our drumming and our singing and a little more about our history. Right now we're going to do a grand entry to formally bring our dancers into this circle here. Ready? Hear it for our drummers and singers. Thank you. So, I want to just speak about the way we sing and, where this drum comes from. And for us, the drum beat is the heartbeat. It represents the heartbeat of our people, and it represents the heartbeat of all of creation. And that we're all in sync when we're dancing to this beat. And for us, it's a form of prayer. It's a form of prayer while we're dancing and also while we're singing. You know, the way we sing here in the North, there's Northern style, and then there's Southern style, and then the Pacific Northwest have something else. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's not our style. And the way we sing here in the North is very high pitch, and it's reminiscent of a baby's first breath. When a baby first comes into this world, into this realm, that first sound that they put out there, when they're still closest to the Creator, as we say, that's what we're trying to replicate there, to replicate that sound of a child at that moment. And you know, our songs are very particular, and when we learn them, we don't say that we make them. You know, we don't actually compose them. That they're already made up in the spirit realm, and that we just remember them when we get them here. And for us, you know, the songs are sort of keys. You know, it's the way that they're sung, the precise melody and words that are used are keys that unlock certain things in the spirit world for us. And it's also very important for us when we do learn them and remember them, that we remember them correctly, the way they were taught to us. And it's also very important. We're going to start with, our Eastern blanket dancer. And do you mind speaking on? I'm going to stand next to you because I have the mic and he needs that. Good? Okay. So the Eastern blanket dance is traditional to this part of the world. And there are several meanings of it, but the most common meaning is like a woman who is coming of age, right? And who is being protected by her blanket. And as she's dancing, she's evolving into a woman. And at the end, you'll see her take that blanket off and lay it down, as that is her coming into womanhood. And so this dance kind of represents that in many different ways on many different levels. And there's a lot more to that story as well, but that is the short version of it. na mong meze sokawa hey oh. We're gonna do
Impressive, huh? I was kind of intimidated, that's all.
traditional, woman's traditional, woman's traditional.
Traditional.
So now we're going to do our woman's traditional. And this is one of those dances that does come from a very old time and a very old style. And you know, in our way, we can identify time periods of when things came to us. Sometimes we'll only use just rattles, or sometimes we'll only use just sticks. And those, and when we're singing, and those things we know came from a time before we had a drum, you know. And that's kind of how we keep our time, is by what we see and what we've carried on into today's world. So our women's traditional is one of those things that is one of those dances that's very old, and it has to do with the connection a woman has to the earth. And they just very ever so gently walk along the earth, and it's kind of showing how graceful and how gentle our earth is, our mother. And in our language, earth is Aki. Everybody say that? Aki. And what that comes from is our word for mother, Akas. It derives directly from that word. So when we say Aki, when we're talking about the earth, that teaching is already there. You know, we're acknowledging that teaching that the earth is our mother whenever we say that word. And that's often the time, almost always the time in our language, is that there's always an underlying meaning and teaching to the words that we're speaking. So you'll see our young women here still connecting with that earth, you know. And you'll see how graceful and gentle they are with the earth. You go. No, that's not it. Sorry. Sometimes that happens, you know. We have like Rolodexes of songs in our heads, and we only identify them by the lead, and sometimes if we're off, that's it. It's gone. And yeah, let's hear it again for our women's traditional. Next up, we're going to have our women's fancy. And this is women's fancy shawl. And as you can see, it's a very flashy regalia that she has on. And this is a more contemporary style of dancing, a more modern style that came about actually at a very low time, I guess, in our history. It was when our people were very oppressed. And here in New York, in this area, it was made illegal for us to practice our culture and our traditions as early as like the 1690s here. And we weren't allowed to, per the United States law, until 1970s, the late 1970s. And during that era, during what we call the Buffalo Bill era, where they wanted to put on Native American shows and showcase indigenous people from all over the country. And what they did was they asked us, they said that our songs were too slow and our regalia just wasn't flashy enough. So they asked us to make them flashier, sing a little faster, dance a little faster. That's what happened. And so out of that comes some very beautiful dances of women's fancy and also men's fancy as well. And with the men's fancy, you'll see them, they have lots of feathers, like we call them bustles, 2 bustles of feathers, and 2 sticks with almost tassels on them, and they spin. That's just what they do, spin and cartwheel. And our women's fancy, it's a little different because it's almost like she's a butterfly or a bird, and still with the grace of a woman dancing around. But it was very controversial because when it first came, the women were upset. The older women were upset that they were taking both their feet off the ground at one time and that they did not maintain that connection to the earth. But as time grew on, it became to realize that grace is still recognized and that connection is still recognized through the flow that you'll see our women's fancy dancer do, the flow of life that's still maintained and captured in this dance. So.
Here we go.
basket dance?
Hey,
Hey-o, Yahweh, Yahweh-o, Yahweh, Yahweh-o, Yahweh, Yahweh-o,
because the world is full of ups and downs, left and right. But we follow the beat
Hey,